Oh, good morning, gorgeous Grandma Day, lady you.
Thank you.
How you doing?
Happy Tuesday. Yeah, I'm still alive. It's still 2020. We're still on the wrong tangent for the Mandela effect.
Oh my God, she said tangent.
Nice.
You said it. What else is going on? You're the one that you noticed it's gorgeous Grandma Day. Did somebody wish you gorgeous Grandma Day before we came on?
Well, no, I wish all the other gorgeous grandmas a happy day. When I got into this fight, I got into it because of my grandchildren. I raised my kids to realize that this empire was probably going to collapse in their lifetime. And I gave them the tools to survive that. But then my grandchildren were born, and it was like, oh shit, what did we do? We left these kids a world with no clean air, no clean water, no clean food. So I got in the fight.
And a mountain of debt and capitalism. Yeah, and all that good stuff. Well, yeah, that's kind of why I got in the fight. I'm more of my reasoning was watching the waste when I was younger, and I felt bad every time I threw something in the garbage. And that's really, I started my tree hugging years when I was in high school, It wasn't because of how much tissue I was using. It was because of the shit that, we were throwing away in the garbage all the time. And finally, I started waking up in the 80s, and then here comes the 90s, and now we're fucked. So yeah, that's just the way it is. What else is going on today? There's something? Oh yeah. Let me get this framed up here, right? We have some news today. We have 3 men marooned in the Pacific are rescued after writing SOS in the sand. I've heard this scenario before. I just wonder if it's the same individuals. So did you
dumb bastards? Why didn't they just stay there and put up a beware, do not come here?
Did you see this? I think that this is a good thing, that saying that you can do the gig where the writing the SOS in the sand works. I think Tony Nelson tried that and it worked for him. But then this group of people, I don't think it worked so much for them, or did it? I don't know. Is this Mandela Tuesday where they didn't rescue? These are actually the people they rescued, don't you think?
These are the actual people they rescued.
Yeah, these are the actual ones. Anyway, I'm glad they've finally been rescued, because in my other reality, they got rescued back in the 90s, I think. So let's free cheers for them. So that's a good thing.
0 to over 25,000 miles per hour, 3 G's of force.
And
technology that
I just had it, and it's just like,
just sit right back and you'll hear a tale of a fateful trip that started from this tropic port aboard this tiny ship.
Yeah, well,
Best of things, it's an uphill climb. The first mate and his skipper too will do their very best to make the others comfortable in their tropic island nest.
No phone, no light,
no motor cars, not a single luxury. Like Robinson Crusoe, it's primitive as can be. So join us here each week, my friends. You're sure to get a smile from 7 stranded castaways here on Gilligan Time.
okay, that's the earworm for
They might
today.
not have had a phone, but at least they had the monkeys and the globetrotters, and God, they had a lot of visitors.
Yeah, they did. They did have a lot of visitors, and I'm so happy they've finally been rescued on Mandela Tuesday.
So the age-old question is Marianne or Ginger? I just watched a show about this, and most of America chose Marianne.
They chose Marianne. Well, I'm still stuck on Jeannie, literally. So that
Wasn't a choice.
that wasn't a choice for me. But yeah, we talked about this earlier. I kind of like Ginger and Tina Louise. She's still alive, I believe.
Yeah, she is. She's the only surviving cast member. I was more of a Bewitched Samantha.
Oh yeah, I liked Bewitched. The first Darren. I grew to love him after I watched. I didn't think I'd like him, but when they replaced him with Dick Sargent, I didn't like that other Darren. And of course, according to reports, Agnes Moorehead didn't care for that guy either. But the Dick York, the original, he had a back injury making a movie before he started Bewitched, and it just degraded to the point where he ended up in a wheelchair. But he had a mental breakdown when they were filming I think it was the 6th season, so he had to quit. But his mother took violently ill, and he had to go take care of his mom too. So he, I hope he was as good a guy as it looks like he was. So,
Oz, you're a man after my own heart with all this useless knowledge.
Yeah, I know. I mean, useless trivia, but I don't think it's so useless when you think about some of the good people in your lives. Parents that you had that were really good people that never get the kind of recognition that some of these sports heroes and movie stars get when they pass away, and again, it's just how it is. But I want to recognize everybody in the group. Hey, Dennis McCartney.
Yeah, our chat's looking good.
Yeah,
Hi, Barb.
Good morning, Barbara. Hey, Bill. Welcome back, Bill. Insight and awareness. Hello. We're just taking it easy today, Tuesday. It's just Shanda and I got a message from somebody a minute ago, but I can't watch it because I'm doing something else. What are we gonna open with today as far as news? Now that I've got the useless trivia out of the way.
The whole world's a dumpster fire. Take your pick.
Oh my God! Are you going to get a stimulus check or unemployment boom
or any of us? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, are you going to get your mail? Or are you going to keep getting your post office stuff? Or what's going on with that?
According to Trump, I'm not.
Yeah. Well, so what's this? Mike's talking about this. Is there anything specific that we should focus on here as far as this goes with Mike?
We'll play I think it's the first, but I don't know. I gave you the cuts on
I got the cuts. Yeah.
I think this is just talking about how Trump is threatening the postal service and how he is utilizing it, politicizing it to try to delay the election.
Oh, it's about the election. It's about him. Okay, well, hey.
It's always about him. It's a narcissistic nation.
Yeah, I think Mike Figueredo's pretty solid in his research. Let's give him a listen.
So for months now, Donald Trump has been ranting about the danger that mail-in voting poses to our democracy because, according to him, if we allow widespread mail-in voting, that will make our elections susceptible to fraud and abuse. It doesn't matter to him that the facts don't match the rhetoric that he's using. It doesn't matter to him that the fraud rate for mail-in voting is literally less than 0%. To him, he knows that with how poorly he's polling against Joe Biden, the only way he's going to be able to win is if he suppresses enough votes. And that really is true for every single election. Republicans know that they are much more likely to do well if turnout is low. And so they try to suppress as many votes as they possibly can and cross their fingers and hope that that was enough. Now, with Donald Trump, he was really hoping that this pandemic would be a sort of natural vote suppressor, because if people are logical and they don't want to come out to vote in person and risk their own lives or expose others to this really deadly contagious virus, they just stay home, which is perfect for him. But during a pandemic, of course, mail-in voting is a logical solution to this problem. Now, it's not just something that we need during a pandemic. I think that mail-in voting is one way to strengthen democracy and actually increase turnout. But to him, this is all about winning. It's all about him. Now, we know that he's going to continue to fearmonger about mail-in voting. We know he's going to attempt to delegitimize mail-in voting. But the lengths that he's going to sound the alarm about mail-in voting and delegitimize it are now reaching new levels. Like, we are talking about really scary territory, to where if he could, I have no doubt in my mind he would be a dictator, because he tweeted this out last week. With universal mail-in voting, not absentee voting, which is good, 2020 will be the most inaccurate and fraudulent election in history. It will be a great embarrassment to the USA. Delay the election until people can properly, securely, and safely vote? Think about what we just read. The sitting president of the United States just floated postponing an election because of some type of manufactured crisis he's trying to create. This is exactly what they do in authoritarian regimes. In fact,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this is what they do in authoritarian regimes. Well, those who've been watching me for a while, I do advocate for mail-in voting because we live in a mail-in state. Washington State is complete mail-in state. And I love the access that gives everybody. When we had the caucuses or whatnot, if you were disabled, working, elderly, it was harder for you to get out and cast your vote. So it definitely makes it easier to vote. And there is very little fraud when it comes to mail-in voting. That's not where the problem is. As an elected vote official, a vote observer, I go in every election and I sit down and I watch the vote be verified and counted. Now, they sit down, they open those ballots up, and the first thing they do is they verify the signature with the signature that's on file. So now they're physically touching the ballot. It's in their hand. They're comparing it to the computer, to the thing. I watch them do this. And then it gets set in a pile. And then once that pile gets so big, they take that pile over and to a machine, a scanner, which grabs that ballot and counts it. And the tallies get tallied into a computer system. And so they do this all day long. And then at the end of the day, they just download whatever those numbers are onto a flash drive, and then off it goes. And from there, the general public doesn't see where these numbers go. We're told they go to the auditor's office, and then the auditor uploads them to the state auditor and the election board, blah, blah, blah. So that's where the breakdown is. And that's where Trump doesn't understand where the freaking problem actually is. To say that this is going to be the most rigged election, we already know that. We've already seen that. I mean, look at the primary. The primary was completely rigged as a Bernie,
absolutely.
supporter.
It was
see that.
totally rigged in a multitude of ways. You had Obama getting on the bat phone to Clyburn and
Right.
Buttigieg and Klobuchar. I mean, yeah, you guys got to circle the wagons around good old Joe Biden because you're losing it. You're losing it. We can't take any more chances. And again, Obama's going to pick the VP, which I don't even think is, a big deal as far as, the VP slot itself goes. But where it is the big deal is that VP has to be the next presidential candidate in 2024. People.
Well, he's got to be president too. If Biden's dementia is as bad as we're hearing it is.
Yeah, it could. Biden could get sick. 6 months into his term, and then he'd have to hand it over. So, and this is what I think they're going for, and that's what makes it important. Normally, I need to explain myself. Normally, the VP pick is kind of like a placeholder. They sit there and they peddle your main administration's crap. But I'm still
like Biden has.
Yeah. So are you still thinking who for VP, Shanda? Are you going to go with? Who do you think?
I'm not even going to put a guess. It's whoever the big banks want. And as much research as I've done into that committee, I am confident that it'll be exactly who the elite want, and not who Biden wants, and not who the public wants. They're not going to try to appease us by giving us a woman of color. That's not what they're doing. They're looking for a demographic that they can use, to do their bidding, but yet appease a good part of the voting population.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we can get some hope out of some hopelessness through all this mess. Again, I hate to be negative, and I got to say, I think we've got a very positive person here this morning, Al Walsky. Hey, Al, we really do appreciate the financial gifts. They are financial gifts that you all give us. To keep this going, it goes to Uphill Media. It doesn't go to Shanda and I, or Amber, Rhonda, anybody else. We are going to be working on ringing the bell for ourselves. A $2 Patreon would help me at least keep my internet paid for and the lights. Same with Shanda. We're working on those things. But Al's being very positive today. $10 from Al. I urge all to reach out to someone less fortunate than you and give them a hand up. Ask them to pay it forward.
Al,
that's no better words said. And that movie upset me so bad. Pay it forward, but the message is there. If you haven't seen it, pay it forward.
With the whole Spacey thing.
Yeah,
that was a great movie. It really was a great message. And I got into this fight. I've been a poor single working mother my whole entire life. I had my first child a month after turning 18. And so I fight for the poor. That is my passion, is the plight of the poor. And absolutely, one of the hardest things is to actually ask for help, to, swallow your pride, go get in that food bank line or go get in that helpline. And so paying it forward, pay attention. Who around you is struggling? That's how I do it.
Yeah, we're in a difficult difficult time. I mean, the whole paradigm's changing before our eyes. They can't even figure out, or they know what they need to do as far as a stimulus, as far as helping people now, but they refuse to do it. You've got the Republicans offering nothing, and the Democrats are offering next to nothing except what they've already given, which was, and I'll remind everybody, they're making this look like, oh, Republicans bad, Trump bad, Trump. We know. But what are you really doing to step up and pay it forward to future generations?
Yeah,
this exactly. is they're not doing it. Pelosi and Schumer, are you kidding me? Are they fighting? And they're not even articulating how, or with this giant press machine that the Democrats lord over now completely, MSNBS and CNN bullshit and some of these other ones. They've got the machine. They've got I'll get into that later, but I don't want to pontificate myself. So anyway, here's one more thing that the GOP is just a gift that keeps on giving. The GOP plan, if you can't sue they don't want you to be able to sue your employers for giving COVID to you, but they can sue you for giving it to them.
They don't want to pay you to go get it either.
They don't want to pay. Yeah, they don't. That's just a little news bleep there that I wanted to throw in there. So, that's not really a surprise. I gotta say, I just again, we're gonna go into. I want to get a couple of these things out of the way because they're like bits, and I'm reconfiguring the studio here. Chuck Schumer spent all morning, and this is the Dems not so bad, frankly. Corporate extremist Amy McGrath, who never had any chance of defeating Mitch McConnell when they could have had Charles Booker. Once again, the Democrats snatch feet from the jaws of victory, and I think Ryan Knight's great. If you have Twitter, go check out Ryan Knight. If you like what he says, if you're inclined to, just friend him. And he's out there. He's actually promoting Uphill Media himself. He's going to be doing a monthly, I believe, with Savage Joy on the Unruly Hour, which Joy's going to be on tonight, by the way. She's going to have Awkward, the rapper guy, and I can't wait to hear what he had to say. We had a great interview with Crystal Aviles last night.
I tuned in. That was great.
That was really good. We enjoyed it. So, we're slowly building up relationships and working with all these, the new media, the actual media out there that's not being paid propagandists by, like the MSNBSs and the rest of them. And I really got to say, I appreciate everybody supporting and all the groups here with the thoughtful thinking. And if you have any ideas to make the show better here, just shoot them to me at roarmedialive@gmail.com. And there we go. What do we want to get into? Do we want to get into rising out of the gate, or we want to go to? What do you want to do?
Your daily rising clip.
My daily rising clip.
This was a really good interview, and I helped you clip this one, and it was tough because the whole entire segment was great. So just finding a little snippet. So yeah, I recommend you guys go watch this one.
Yeah, and love or hate Kyle Kulinski, he's right on most of the time that I can remember. I've been following him for years. I've been following when he's like in grade school or something. He's been on
kindergarten.
Yeah, he's
debating if it should be milk or juice.
Yeah, he's a sharp guy. He really is, and I appreciate it. A lot of our friends really speak highly of him. There are a couple people out there that don't like him. Whatever, we're not going to like all of our friends and this is a point I want to make. We're not going to like everybody that is on the same point with us as far as progressive values and independent media, but damn it, if you don't like them, don't watch them, but at least help them work together to, get this thing up, because we're up against the monster media, and I think Kyle goes into this right here. Let's listen before I keep running off the mouth here.
Selling something, representing something that touches on something real and can get eyeballs on you to make it. So in a weird way, the new media people are really in the free market, whereas all the old media people, they're kind of like charity cases, because as long as you get through the different layers of filtration where you get the blessings from the higher ups, well, then you get on air and they could overlook the fact that you have terrible ratings because Pfizer's still, advertising anyway. So whether it's Chuck Todd, he's such a great example, or, Wolf Blitzer. I hate to throw Wolf Blitzer under the bus, but the guy's never said an interesting thing in his life. And but I mean, that's why he's in the position he's in. He's not going to rock the boat. They know he's not going to rock the boat. He's safe, and it doesn't really bother them that he doesn't get great ratings. I love how we've just resigned ourselves that CNN and MSNBC will always be behind Fox News, as if that's like written in the laws of nature. And it's like, well, no, you guys just hire terrible people who do a terrible job, but you're fine with that because it's not really about the views. It's not about the views. It's about let's keep running the Pfizer ads.
Is putting Chuck Todd into digital this like way of MSNBC trying to capture
great.
this like young, authentic marketplace? Like Chuck Todd on TikTok is going to be like the future, like, or is that going to be a 5-minute episode of just disaster?
I think nobody's going to watch, but they will still keep it on for a long time, not admit their mistake, because again, it's not really about the views. It's more about pushing a viewpoint that they find acceptable, and the whole point is the propaganda. Just to give a couple of examples here about the kind of person Chuck Todd is. He interviewed Lewis Black in the year 2015, and he said famously, this blew up, this was a big story, he said the first time that we bark at them, meaning the guests, is the last time they do the show. And so he basically admitted that the whole thing they do is about access, and he doesn't really do his job as a watchdog of the people in power. There was another instance where he was on Real Time with Bill Maher, and Jeremy Scahill was there, and Jeremy Scahill pushed him on the fact that he didn't hold the government accountable when it came to torture. And apparently backstage, Chuck Todd said to Jeremy Scahill, "That was a cheap shot. You sullied my reputation on TV." So
come on.
It's not about, hey, maybe you should hold the government accountable when they do something illegal and unconstitutional like torture. It's about how dare you make me look bad for playing patty cakes with them and going soft on them. And this is the exact kind of person that's going to get the promotion at MSNBC or NBC. And, I welcome the fight in terms of ratings because I could beat him with half my brain tied behind my back.
Well,
yeah, that's so true. That's so true. I mean, Chuck Todd's, what is he, the son of Frankenstein or something?
Don't even get me started.
Jesus Christ.
He compared the Bernie supporters to brown shirts, and as a Jew, he's dead. He's dead. Anything he says, does, I don't care. I won't hear it. I won't see it.
Yeah. There's just some more useless trivia. I don't even think Chuck Todd has a college degree. Not that means much anymore, in my opinion, as far as his field of expertise in their realm. It's all just thing. And Brom, I kind of agree with you. It's not Chuck Todd. It's fuck Wad. Is that how you spell? Is that how you spell Wad? I call him Upchuck myself. But yeah. So anyway. Hey, Brom, thank you for that.
They say that the revolution won't be televised, and the author who wrote that line was actually still alive, and maybe somebody in the chat knows who it was and they can drop the name. But they went back and they re-asked him what he meant by that. And normally we can't go back and ask an author or writer what they meant, but he said, "I meant it won't be televised by the mainstream media." So, everybody has that quote out of whack. Yeah, it won't be televised, but it will be televised on independent media.
God, who did say that? I used to know that, too.
It was a writer in the 70s. I'm trying to think of his name.
A writer? It was a writer?
It was a writer.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I always defer to Murrow for things that have that kind of bent to
Yeah,
them.
I don't think it was Murrow.
Nah, you're probably right. I just, with all this useless trivia, I need to clean some of that out of my brain and get some real history in there. So I don't know, man. I just, anyway. That in itself, that little clip, and I highly recommend everybody watch that one on Rising this morning with Kyle Kulinski, and I think I'm finally pronouncing his name right. Kulinski, yeah. The whole thing is just priceless, and you could hear Rachel Rachel Brevard, is that her name?
Yeah, her giggles were cute.
Yeah, they were cute, and Crystal, Crystal giggles with that gritted teeth kind of, it's like she has her style. She's kind of like she gives me that Lawrence O'Donnell feel, but in a good way, back when Lawrence O'Donnell.
Don't compare her to Lawrence.
Yeah, I know. And they were talking about how they're getting away from bend over. Lean forward. I'm sorry. I was bend over. I had that in the brain for years. That MSNBC slogan was lean forward. And I always said, you mean bend over. Get the hell out of Dodge, man. So
yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah. So what's the deal here with our friends at Convo Couch? And they're really great.
Convo Couch, they've been doing such a great job.
Yeah.
They continue to do a great job.
They're busting ass. They are busting ass. They really are.
They are busting ass. This is a great little clip they dropped this morning about debates. Yeah, about the Democratic debates and how the Dems are trying to get Biden out of the debate because, COVID can't be in the same room with somebody, so they got to just cancel the debate.
Oh, this has got to be good. I think I heard part of this yesterday. I got distracted. So let's hear what Fee and Pasta say. Pasta's been in rare form lately.
Yeah. What happens is they don't want Joe Biden to have a debate with Donald Trump because Joe Biden is really bad. There are reports out there from sources really close to Joe Biden saying that Joe Biden's dementia has gotten far worse. When's the time you've seen Joe Biden?
Yeah.
Really?
They're playing their game, Finn. The Democratic game is to hide. We saw this firsthand as on the California state parties, all these elections, when it comes to the debate, the left is nowhere to be found. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
We would show the Kenneth Mejia debate. Who was it? Jimmy Gomez. No show. You know what I'm saying? Yep. They do this stuff all the time. The best thing is no news is good news. Control the mainstream media. Don't get yourself caught up in a debate that you can lose. I mean, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, Tim Canova got her to do one debate finally. You know what I'm saying? And she almost killed herself in that debate, and they canceled any chance of any other debate.
Right.
So they're trying to do the same thing here. This is Joe Biden. This is a man who can't put his sentences together. In the debates, he was terrible. He started to lie. He shit his pants on national TV, ladies and gentlemen. So now they're trying to hide him in these debates because you know why? Donald Trump will eat him up, whether we like it or not. Ideology-wise, maybe the left is a lot better than the right, but when Donald Trump got Hillary Clinton one-on-one, he had some moments that were just brutal. And she goes, it's a good thing that Donald Trump is not running the country. He goes, yeah, because you'd be in jail. And they put that clip up time and time and time and time and time again. The man has WWE background in him, Donald Trump. He knows what to look for. He's been very coached. He must be foaming at the mouth right now to get a hold of Joe Biden. And if they do debate, fam, I
think it's undemocratic to lie and manipulate like this. But hey, we're not a democracy. We're definitely not a republic. We're an oligarchy. So technically, they can do whatever they want. The corporation of the United States. So they saw the Democratic strategists and supporters of Joe Biden are urging him not to debate. Former White House press secretary Joe Lockhart said, "Whatever you do, don't debate Trump." And so
whatever you do,
they're urging him to really not debate. And CNN has been talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, when Biden was VP, the handlers for him in the Obama administration didn't want him talking either. So he's just kind of gone. And that's a fact. They had to shut him up a couple of times because he got a little bit too mouthy about things. Made what did Chuck Todd say? You made me look bad or something. Well, that's what Joe did for Obama sometimes. So.
Right, and he makes he makes no sense. He can't finish a thought. We know that clip, that Hillary clip, was so devastating that Trump, if I was in charge, you'd be locked up. And they did play that over and over and over. And as bad as Trump's numbers are right now in the polls, I really think that they're pushing hard for a debate because that's where Trump performs the best. Trump is a performer and he knows how to command a debate stage. He knows how to shame somebody and make them look bad, which is exactly what he wants to do to Biden. So I don't know. Will we have one? I kind of think the Dems will chicken shit out.
Well, I don't know how can they? They just do whatever they want, or are they going to pull an Elizabeth Warren going on Fox, or what? I mean, if you have the courage to stand the heat in the kitchen, that's it to me is a sign of leadership. I'll go. I've been challenged. I'm a Russian tool again, and I got called a Zionist CIA agent again this weekend.
That's right.
And
my friend, the CIA agent.
Yeah, shit. Well, my point is that I was willing to step up and come into a VR room and debate this person. So I think I'm a stand-up guy, and if I lose, I lose. But I'll still go in there, whether I'm going to make a fool out of myself or like Jimmy Dore says, they're smarter than me, but I'm just a jack-off comedian in my garage. Well, I put Jimmy Dore up against probably 90% of anybody in Congress. So there you go, Jimmy. That's kudos to you.
I put the truth up. The truth is like a lion. Set it free and it will defend itself. And that's it. We've got the truth and we've got facts on our side. And that's how I debate and that's how I win.
Well, yeah, and that's how you should debate and that's how you will win, because the truth will set you free. I mean, it's simple as that. That is why, they say, Oz, you won't come to the Democratic thing and do a debate. Yeah, I'll debate anybody, anywhere, except for it has to be a fair, open, public forum with third-party moderators all day long, because if you go to a Democratic one or a Republican one, it's set against you right away. They want to make an example of you, so they're going to set the tempo, they're going to set everything. And what's really bad, especially with the Democrats, they've already got their mindset on who's going to win. No matter what comes out of their mouth, they're going to take their picked politician that's going to beat them. But when we've got people in this room, in our chat room, that could debate, I would say 90% of the elected officials in office all day long in a fair forum or in a fair debate, that's pretty frightening to those guys. It's not frightening to us. So there again,
Snork says his cat could debate him and win.
Well, God, Snork, quit setting the bar so high, man. Jeez. And that's Snorky. Snorky could debate. Snorky could debate any of them too. I know Snorky. So yeah, it would be these things. I would, and there's people I would like to debate just for the enjoyment, just for the practice, and debating people like Snorky and Brahm and everybody in this group, for that matter. I'm not going to, try and minimize anybody's ability to debate, because I don't know everybody, but I get the impression that everybody could hold their own against any of these monkeys, sorry monkeys, but that we've got, in representation right now. And here's a point before I quit my diatribe. When Nancy Pelosi, the leader of the House, who's been in office since Jesus was born, who's started in maybe a couple of 100,000, is now worth over $100 million, won't go debate Shahid Buttar. Yeah. That's telling right there. So put up or shut up, Nancy. Get the hell out. And I'm hoping beyond hope that Buttar can beat her in the primary. And that said,
yeah, me too. But I'll tell you, years of doing this with Tim Canova and so many other great progressives across the country, we know exactly how they retain control. They rig it.
Yeah, well, yeah, they can't give the platform of a debate to outsiders, because they're going to get their ass kicked every time. Rick Larson, prime example. My dog could beat Rick Larson in a debate, and my dog can't even speak. Well, my dog can speak, but probably Dharma speaks Rick Larson's language. Arf, 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 arf. Anyway, where are we going now? Are we going to talk about COVID or what here?
Yeah. You want to throw that Dr.
John Bricks?
Campbell? Yeah, okay. So this is Dr. John Campbell, and if you're looking for accurate COVID numbers and analysis, I highly suggest his channel on YouTube, Dr. John Campbell. He is out of Britain, maybe? Somewhere in the UK.
I thought he was.
I've been watching him since January, at the very beginning of the epidemic, the pandemic. And he does such an amazing job. Right now, he's going to break down the Navajo Nation. And he has a wonderful saying that I just love. And it is, masks are critical, not political. And so I'm giving you this. Use it how you'd like.
Okay, here we go.
Supporting you as far as I understand you now. Now, the Navajo Nation. Now, this is really upsetting. This is something I feel strongly about, is First Nation groups. Navajo Nation, highest death toll per capita, mostly in the southwest of the United States. Intermittent electricity in many settlements, 30% have no running water. And water has even got uranium contamination from previous irresponsible uranium mining. Of course, that stuff will kill you no time at all. It's radioactive. It's very dangerous. Now, 30% no running water in the United States in 2020. This is a national indictment, of course. And let's hope the US cavalry gallops over the hill to save the people in the Navajo Nation who are dying at such a disproportionate rate, albeit a metaphorical cavalry galloping over the hill to help these people. Quite honestly, it's the least that can be done. Yeah, California.
So we know that won't happen.
No.
Cavalry. But I found this he breaks down the numbers around the world, whose numbers are accurate, whose numbers aren't. To me, it's just heart-wrenching to know that the Navajo Nation has the highest death rate per capita. I mean, what has been going on down there? I had been fighting the uranium contamination down there years ago. I support, many groups that are, trying to at least call attention to this. The fact that 30% in 2020 in America don't have running water is just shameful. It is so shameful. And the fact that, we don't do anything to call attention to it, to help, we just expect the government to go in there and help them. Well, we know how the government has helped all First Nations and, in the past. So him thinking the cavalry is going to come over the hill and help the Navajo Nation, the only time they come over the hill is to kill them.
No, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, where are they helping anybody? They're not helping during this pandemic. We have food deserts all across this country. And now I just heard some stats the other day that more and more people are starting to starve in this country. Starve. I know we know they starve from the standpoint of quality food, eating right. But I mean, this is lack of their food. Is that correct? Right. That's what's going on. So again, it's frightening what we have before us, but we've got elections in November. Is that going to be the be all end all to correct all the problems? Hell no. How can it possibly be that? Today is election day in Washington State. I just want to shout out to those of you in Washington State. Do not vote for Larson or Kilmer. No incumbent. Well, Jayapal, some people still like and trust Jayapal, and she has brought a really good Medicare for All plan to the surface. And there is another guy, David Wilkins or something like that. He's okay, but all the incumbents, they're just terrible.
The only incumbent I voted for was Bob Ferguson, and that's because he is an attorney and he doesn't, for his being establishment. Okay, I just find it amusing that his administration sues the shit out of Trump all the time. So that's why I voted for.
Yeah, and so who are some of the ones we are going to vote for in Washington State? Jason Call, Rebecca Parsons, Mariana Eversons,
Franklin
Wallbrown, and on some of the other levels, Amber King.
My ballot. Yeah,
Amber King, if you're in her, she's going for a city council position, I believe, or sorry, I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, Amber, I'm just
my county council.
County council position 4, I think. Yeah.
6.
So yeah, but we
I only interviewed her twice. That's how good my brain is.
Yeah, and then you've got a couple of neoliberals running in Washington State. One of those is Carolyn Long. She's a neoliberal, and what I find about Carolyn Long, she has these commercials. You may see them on YouTube. I don't know. But she's implying that she's supporting a Medicare type system, but she's not. She's supporting a for-profit, build on the ACA incrementalist system that's going to do it. So, rule of thumb, I said last year, I think, Shanda, you can witness me on that, is I said I'm not going to vote for anybody that does not support in our state whole Washington.
That's right.
Or Medicare for all, or anything. That's my litmus test. That's my goddamn purity test. So what? I care about people living, and in a pandemic, the current Democratic administration, that the Democratic Party, they're not in the administration, they're not doing what they need to do. When we have a time when 66% of all people, all parties want a Medicare for all system, and I think it's like 75% of progressives, almost 80, I think, of progressives want 80% for Medicare for all, and both parties are just thumbing their nose. You're never going to get it. You're never going to get it. So why the hell should I vote for you? But Trump. So you're asking me to give up my power of pressure on these sons of bitches.
Yeah.
To vote for them because of Trump, where they're bringing no goddamn policy. No policy. So you know what I'm saying? Okay, we're going to have fascism. We are. Well, we're going to have a different kind of fascism. We have it with the party. We have election rigging in the primary that twice in the last 2 cycles. So each cycle, and we've had it before then. I'm not saying anything.
Oh God, yeah. You know, you can go back all the way back to '68. You can go back even further than that, and there's instances of it. But you know, I happened to catch Derek Kilmer's town hall last night. And they broke the COVID numbers down for CD6, which was quite shocking and frightening because we are a very rural CD. And to see the numbers climbing the way they are right now, what people need to understand about COVID is, okay, great example is the guy who just passed away in Tulsa that went to Trump's rally, 6 weeks ago, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's taking 4 to 5 weeks of being in the hospital and on ventilators before people are passing away. So all the people that are being diagnosed today that are being placed in the hospital or being placed on ventilators, you know, we're looking at weeks before they pass on. So they're not counted in the numbers of deaths. They're not, you know, that ratio, we're going to see it go up in the next, from everything that I have seen in the last week. It's going to be bad in 4 or 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks.
Yeah, it is going to be bad. It's got to be worse than bad. So be prepared.
Masks are critical, not political.
Oh, I like that. That has a catchy ring to it. How's the chat doing today? Are they tired of us going? Kashama Sawant is pissed. Lisa says, "What's she pissed about? How we're getting?"
What's Shama pissed about? I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. I mean, I'm pissed every day, and that's not a healthy thing to be upset. So, but anyway,
Shama's still a sweetheart even when she's pissed.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. I'll take Shama over 100 of these representatives.
I want to follow up on a story we did yesterday about
please do.
Or did we do that story? Maybe we skipped that story. That might have been. So in Seattle, we had protesters go to the chief of police's house, and there was a lot of pushback about the neighbors and how the protesters were rude and rowdy, which they weren't. And now we're hearing that she has multiple houses and she wasn't even there. And, so, just the narrative that they put out there about how, it's just so rude for them to go to these houses and to call them out. What else are we supposed to do? They don't listen to us anywhere else.
Yeah. Is that Durkin? Is that who you're talking about?
No, Best.
Best
is the chief of police.
Oh, yeah. The chief of police. Is another sellout from another.
Oh boy, is she?
Another party. I don't know what else to say. I didn't say hi to Melissa. Hi, Melissa. When did you jump in? Did you jump in late?
Missing Jilly this morning.
Yeah, where the hell is Jilly? Damn it, Jilly.
Jilly.
Yeah. Osama says Cuomo has banned me. That's an honor.
Aw, how dare you get banned by Cuomo?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Cuomo's just what a bummer. I think a lot.
That guy is scary. He thinks that he reminds me of Giuliani. Back after 9/11, everybody embraced Giuliani because he was rebuilding New York and New York strong, whatever.
Oh yeah.
You see the same thing coming out of Cuomo. I mean, he thinks that he's got to do a press conference every day and his word is the word. I'm sorry, he scares the shit out of me watching him.
Well, they all want to be emperors and kings and all this stuff in their big club, and I think Cuomo with his big didn't he make a Mad Magazine poster of how they went in? He went into COVID and all the front responders and everything, and they got over the hill of COVID. And now they're on the downswing, and but nobody noticed the little scratchy stuff with the nursing homes on the side and the corner with all the body bags in it. So. again, Cuomo sentenced a lot of our mothers and fathers to death through his policies.
With the whole nursing home thing,
With the nursing home. He actually forced nursing homes to take in patients who already had been tested positive for COVID. So that to me is on the same level of Dr. Fauci lying, who admittedly he lied about
we're
where
to trust him now.
Yeah, but once a liar, always a liar, even if it's for my own good. But that wasn't for my own good. That was for the good of all. And Fauci, you're not Spock. You can't make that determination. The good of the one outweigh the good of the many or the few. Are you kidding me? You don't go on and in your title and say that wearing a mask doesn't help. Well, maybe not, but you turned around and you said it does help, and now everybody's saying mask. So again,
Fauci's a little egomaniac. If you don't compare him to Napoleon, I mean, anybody who is willing to take the flack that he has taken from the Trump administration to stand on that podium next to Trump, even though he can't stand him, it just tells me that he has got a bigger plan, a bigger picture, and it isn't saving the American people. It is furthering his name and enriching himself.
You're bringing up a good point, and it's a human nature point, Shanda, is now that Trump is in such a bad light, you're going to see more of these cowards pigpile on Trump, try to make themselves a name for themselves and elevate themselves in the public. Remember that. Trump is sliding now, whereas you have the access media, they're also jumping on, like digital, like we were talking about this morning with Chuck Todd and Rachel and all the rest of them at MSNBS. They're all going to, pigpile more because they're feeling this glorious Biden administration coming on where they're going to have all this access. So, again, I got to say, and if anybody wants to debate it, and I do encourage those, come on the show, and if you've got a bone of contention or if you want to support a position, let's get you on one way or another. And we do it during the day, so nighttime it would be Shanda you'd reach out to. During the day, you'd send me an email at roarmedialive@gmail.com. So anyway, we don't have a lot today. It was kind of a meh day as far as news.
It is kind of a meh day. You know what? I agree. I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore, Schultzy. I want to tell you guys that there is a new podcast called The Tightrope Podcast, and it is Cornell West, and one of his first interviews is with AOC, which I'm not a huge AOC toter. I do appreciate her fight, but I get discouraged when she toes the line. But it was a very insightful interview of where she's coming from, how she grew up, and what drives her values. So check that out, and check out Cornell West. I mean, he's one of our great thinkers. Yeah,
I think Cornell West is fantastic, and AOC. I have this. I'm disappointed, but the jury's still out on her. I just don't like how she's bent the knee and how she's failed to support her fellow squad members in some respects.
Well, one of the things that she said in that interview that I really appreciate is she doesn't look at her chair in any decision that she makes with the fact that she's got to get reelected. She knows they're going to come after her. She knows that they're going to use a lot of money, and she knows that most likely she's going to get bumped out of her seat, when they decide to come at her. So that was kind of insightful.
Well, yeah, and I understand you got to play that game, but where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line? I mean, if they really wanted to get rid of her, what they'll do is they'll just eliminate that seat.
Right.
And so she's,
red light her ass.
Who knows? Yeah, I would rather take a chance on her at this point than taking a chance on any of those goddamn incumbents. Because
right, and I feel that way about most progressives.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah, and again, we've got a couple of purportedly supposed progressives. I think Ryan Grimm was talking about the Doglio race in Washington, Beth Doglio. Yeah, I mean, if you look at their websites and listen to the statements. If we can't get to Medicare for all, we need to shore up the ACA. Well, all I want to hear from all of them, once I get elected, I am going to use the bully pulpit of my position to vociferously support a Medicare for all universal health care payer system. No ifs, ands, or buts. No double talk. No bullshit. That's where I'm at. So I'm always going to be fighting for a Medicare for all. Not if we can't do it at this point, we're going to work together to shore up the ACA. That's just horseshit. So don't even go there. Don't even try and sell it. I don't know where Dolio is going to be. We'll know more tonight. We'll let you know the winners and losers for tomorrow, but mostly it's going to be losers. That's my cynicism. I apologize, but we are in a reality shock here now. But there is a positive thing about everybody losing their homes and their jobs and everything else. They're going to be on the street. Our ranks are going to be quadrupled week by week by week. More and more people are going to be joining the populist progressives in the streets fighting for democracy that was lost to the corporations, and Bill Clinton put the whipped cream and the cherry on top when he sold us the Democratic Party to Wall Street. That was a
terrible visual.
That was terrible, you know. And by the way, do we have any more Epstein stuff on Billy Boy? Or
oh yeah, the Epstein stuff, man. Stay tuned on that stuff. Well, yesterday an elite judge protected Maxwell, and so some of her dirtier stuff will not be released. We did get a drop last Friday of some pretty
incriminating
stuff. Yeah, like her toys.
Toys? Like Legos?
Oh, yeah. She had a closet full of toys, apparently. There is a few pictures that are dropping. And so, yeah, keep an eye on that one. If you think that anything is going to come from this, think again. The elite protect the elite. They always have. They always will.
Yes, they always will. It's a big club, baby. Where's Pat, the Batman fan? Damn it. Pat, come on. Anyway, big club, baby. You ain't in it. But everybody in this chat's in it, in our club. And it's going to grow and grow and grow. So the longer they keep screwing us, the harder they keep screwing us, the quicker everybody's going to get that one with God moment and understand that we've been getting screwed by the corporate oligarch for the last 5 decades at least. So there you go.
I do a lot of history. I'm obsessed with history, and so I just did the French Revolution again, Maximilian, and the whole like a 4-hour documentary on it. And I just got to say, when they got that guillotine warmed up, oh my God, it didn't stop for like 18 months.
Yeah, and I feel like the protests at these, and listen up, you representatives, the protests at the representatives' house is a precursor to torches, pitchforks, and guillotines. So think about it, assholes. In your little ivory tower multi-million-dollar homes. We're going to put an end to this. I'm just going to become a congressional rep so I can get rich crap real quick one of these days. Because once you don't feed the people, once you don't care for their health, once you don't keep them actually safe from you robber baron fuckers that are tearing this country apart while burning up the planet and laughing all the way, it's coming for you. We promise. We promise. Anyway, great show today. We had a lot of fun. It wasn't, it wasn't the densest thing as far as news, but I always enjoy. It's Tuesday. I think we're going to have a Women's Wednesday tomorrow.
Dames of Doom.
And Dames of Doom tomorrow night on the Natural Progressive. So let's look forward to that. Thank you, everybody, and thank you so much, Al, for your 2 super chats. Definitely helps us out. And any ideas you guys have to get this show rolling quicker and harder and more fun? We want some comedians. So
yeah, we need some comedians.
Yeah, we need some comedians. I'm trying, but I'm failing. I haven't been in a happy mood. I got to be in a funny mood to be a comedian these days. Now, what's
I'm just a smart ass all the time.
Yeah, that's what we love about our Shanda. Smart ass historian. You're our local historian at the dive.
Smart ass historian.
Yeah. And over on Rockfin, we are streaming to multiple platforms now. It's going to get better. Shanda's
super chats have enabled us to do that. We are going live to more platforms.
Yeah, we are doing that, absolutely. So we're gonna put a gleaners list, like all you super chat people, all our Patreon people, and if you don't mind, we want to put you up on our, at least our credits and recognize the fact that you do give a shit. So what's this outro song we got? We got some Johnny Cash, right?
I threw some Johnny Cash up here for the Natural Progressive. Chris, we hope you're feeling better, and can't wait to hang out tomorrow for Dames of Doom.
Yeah, she likes that country western. Now, I know not everybody likes my stuff, but yeah, so we gotta switch it up.
Oh, Brent McKinney, thank you so much.
Oh, Brent, thanks, dude. Love it. Appreciate it. Appreciate the super chat. This is Man in Black cover, and it's by Matt Parker.
He does a good job.
He does a good job. Okay, well, let's get it up here and get it going. See you tomorrow, everybody. Thanks again. And we're having a country western outgo. Johnny Cash. I haven't heard this yet.
It's good.
Well, you wonder why I always dress in black, why you never see bright colors on my back, and why does my appearance seem to have a song for tone? There's a reason for the things that I have on. I wear the black for the poor and the beaten down, living in the hopeless, hungry side of town. I wear it for the prisoner who has long paid for his crime, but is there because he's a victim of the time. I wear the black for those who never read or listen to the words that Jesus said about the road to happiness through love and charity. Why you think he's talking straight to you and me? Well, we're doing mighty fine, I do suppose, and I streak a lightning cars and fancy clothes. But just so we're reminded of the ones who are held back, up front there ought to be a man in black. I'll wear it for the sick and lonely old, for the reckless ones whose bad trip left them cold. I'll wear the black in the morning for the lives that could have been. Each week we lose 100 fine young men, and I'll wear it for the thousands who have died, believing that the Lord was on their side. And I'll wear it for another 100,000 who have died, believing that we all were on their side. Well, there's things that never will be right, I know, and things that need changing everywhere we go. But till we start to make a move to make a few things right, you'll never see me in a suit of white. Oh, I'd love to wear a rainbow every day and tell the world that everything's okay. But I'll try to carry off a little darkness on my back till things are brighter. I'm the man in black.